I told my husband of 15 years that now I use they, them pronouns. We're both learning how to not misgender me, right? And I think that this is what I was saying. Probably one of the misconceptions about the like whole pronoun thing. It was like, if you had like a smoking hot girl and she was like, I'm doing this whole non-binary thing. It's like, that isn't so much the part that bothers you. The part is the her getting grosser that's almost guaranteed to come with it.
Yeah. Like the bad short haircut.
Like if you're going to absolutely change absolutely nothing, then it's like, okay, yes, I guess you added an extra annoyance of how I have to refer to you while you're there.
Yeah, which is fine. The best is she's like misgendering herself. She goes.
Also, you know that she's into annoying stuff.
But you're like, oh, okay,
but
my girlfriend's suffering some sort of mental health crisis now. Great.
But the problem is when your girl's like, hey, I've decided that I'm not a girl or a boy anymore, you can pretty much guarantee that within the next 6 months, she's going to be getting a lot grosser.
Yeah. Also, like, you're in your 40s and you're just figuring out you're bisexual now.
It's almost worse it's different than bisexual. That was a part of it.
That was a part of it.
Goes, so this whole thing is, she goes, okay, so at first, it was difficult to reconcile the fact that I'm not bisexual. And because she was in a group chat, and in the group chat, they said, we're all bisexual here. And she started thinking about whether I'm not bisexual at 40. It felt like I was co-opting a label designed for younger generations. But then it felt right. They weren't labels. They were my identity. I started blushing before I even started the conversation with my partner of 15 years. We talk about everything, but this was new territory. I began telling him, but that what I was going to say wasn't going to change anything, that this is about me and what I'd realized about myself. But this is the funny part is like, if you go, this isn't going to change anything, you go, I feel like it will.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to be living in different parts of the house.
This is your parents coming and they're like, listen, we're getting divorced. This isn't going to change anything. We are going to be living and you're going to be going back. Just go, okay, so it's going to change a lot.
Yeah, it's going to change quite a bit. I just don't get
You're going to be getting mad at me for not getting on, for not like intervening on your behalf when other people say it wrong.
How the fuck does a 40 years old just in 2023 be like, you know what?
She listened to...
I just finally figured out that I'm non-binary.
Because she got on the blogs. That's why. What do you... the answer to that question is obvious.
But
she got on the blogs and they infected her.
But I'm like, if you've always been non-binary... So you're
saying it's not true.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, okay, so you're saying you're non-binary. You've always been non-binary. You don't become non-binary. You're only now just figuring out that there's a label for your identity that you can say, I'm this label. But I've always been this person.
Always this whole time.
So where were you 4 years ago? This has been pretty popping off for a bit.
Well, that's a good point.
Like, why are you only figuring this out now?
She's pretty late to the, party of this stuff, right?
Yeah, like she has your haircut. Like, why the fuck is she, how is she only figuring this out now?
It's the girl saying she's like bisexual now, and you're just like, in 2015 that might have been interesting.
Exactly, but you're like, why it took you so long to get there?
Yeah, and also I like the idea of like if it is just a normal guy, because you don't really know if the guy's into all the stuff or not. If it is just a normal guy, the girl coming in and being like, I'm non-binary and this isn't gonna affect you, and then she leaves and the guy just like turns on Tucker for the first time. All of a sudden, Tucker's speaking to him. He goes, and they're trying to get into your bedrooms and they're ruining your lives. And this guy's like, preach, Tucker.
Yeah. Grabs his MAGA hat.
This
locks the door, puts the MAGA hat on. Tucker. He goes,
this is the kind of stuff that could sort of radicalize a man. You know what I mean? Like you go, because imagine you were just sort of like removed from it and you're like, yeah, everyone's kind of being crazy, but whatever. It doesn't affect me that much other than the fact that movies have like these annoying plot lines. That's the most it affects you. Like I gotta hear like lesbian night and hockey night in Canada.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every now and then it's like something's an eye roll, but it's like now they're making your wife uglier.
Oh yeah, it's in your house. Oh, and this isn't the last thing from her. Like
she's getting sick.
Like if she goes, I'm bisexual, I'm non-binary, and you go, okay, that's good. I support you. You're like, there's going to be a new thing.
She's going to be demisexual and polyamorous.
A lot of new stuff coming.
You're right. This is the training wheels for
yeah, like she's feeling you out for what kind of shit she can pull, and you're like, yeah, okay.
You know that old thing where it was like how they really, if they can get you to admit like the sky's the different color, that's when they own you.
Yeah.
Like the Kim Jong, the emperor wears no clothes. If they can get you to admit something that's not true, it is sort of true. She goes, if I can get my husband of 15 years to admit that he agrees that I'm neither a boy nor a girl, it's like, then the sky's the limit.
Of course, yeah. And then we can just fucking really turn the tables around to her.
I could definitely see this guy though. Like some of the like right wing stuff speaking to you a little more once your girl comes in. The girl comes in with her shaved head, and then all of a sudden Rush Limbaugh starts to go fucking old school Rush Limbaugh tapes.
Yeah. Everything you go to now, she has to come out because she goes. Her whole thing is I have to keep coming out now because I'm bisexual and non-binary, and then but nobody knows. So then every time,
literally, you're at a hotel, like, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Cooper, and then she looks at you like you're not gonna.
It's actually Zier.
Yeah, it's actually Mr. and what are you doing now?
And no, it's actually Mr. and it's like MX. I don't know.
MX Coops.
I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's MX.
Also, she goes, when I finally came out, the first question my husband asked was, if nothing is changing, why does it matter? The husband's sort of onto the scam a little bit.
Yeah, he goes,
okay, so then why are you telling me if nothing's changing whatsoever? And she's like, a few things are going to be a few things.
A few things are going to be changing. Did I say nothing's changing?
So I was being hyperbolic when I said nothing's changing. I meant we're still going to be living together and married.
Yeah, but
probably
pretty separate lives.
I'll tell you there's going to be a few things changing, and I'm going to have some wackier friends. You can pretty much guarantee that. There's going to be some, there's going to be some like 20-year-old dude that looks like a girl that's got a lot of piercings.
A lot of weird people are going to be hanging around the house during Sunday football. So just want you to, the man cave is going to be turned into an art den moving forward.
It's almost a guarantee there's going to be a couple changes being made in the household.
Yeah, I'd love to follow up with the guy.
I told him it mattered because it's who I am. Then it clicked for him. He has been incredibly supportive, and he's still working to understand the complexity of my identity. It's very complex. She's a very special person.
Yeah, I mean, she's wearing like a blazer with like the elbow patches, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what she's going with.
Yeah, it's going to be tough sledding for the rest of your life for this guy.
You have two options. You either just have to become like Rachel Maddow, but a man.
Yeah.
Or you just check out entirely.
Check out entirely, yeah.
So this is where she came to the realization in her WhatsApp group. One of my friends sent a message about changing the group's name because we're all bisexual. And I thought, I'm not bisexual. I'm married to a man and we have 2 kids. The experience I had in grade school was just kids being kids, right? Those high school rumors that I was a lesbian were wrong, right? My porn searches were just out of curiosity, right? But then my friend was right. I'm bisexual. And that wasn't all. But that's not all.
But that's not all, Johnny. Tell him what he's won.
Tell the husband. So she goes, I have something to tell you. I'm bisexual. He goes, okay, that's fine.
That's pretty standard.
Most girls are. I figured it wasn't that bad. We had a threesome that one time, so that'll be funny. But that's not all, Johnny. Tell him what else he's got. Because this is the full suite, ladies and gentlemen.
You want everything. You're neither a man nor a woman. They, them pronouns, the whole shebang.
This right here is the full package, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to include, and tell them what that package will include. That is going to include an increasingly shorter haircut, which will be dyed a wacky color at some point. There are going to be petty arguments with pedestrians at all hours of the day.
State-of-the-art pronouns. Got it all. Nightmare. This guy's probably like, all right, no more HuffPost for you.
Yeah, the HuffPost, he just goes cancels his credit card.
You have like kid filters. You should be able to have like that, like filters, like political filters that you put on your wife's. Like,
you can't.
Yeah, she starts being like, I think I'm like thing, and you go like, yeah, you're not allowed to see any of this shit on the internet.
Filters.
We need more like OAN.
But that's not all, Johnny.
It's goddamn.
Yeah, my friend. Yeah, you also, that's the same thing as you need the filters for like, the same thing you need Facebook filters for your like 90-year-old dad so he doesn't get into QAnon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.